What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Snap on Ego. My name is Brad, otherwise known as Bradsford, and I'm joined by Chris Bootman Boutte. Chris, can you believe it's been 2 weeks since our last episode?
It's been like 2.5 weeks, and let me explain to you why time has been flying by. So for you and the lovely audience out there, and the lovely audience, I finally got my money right, and my girlfriend and I just got back from a week-long vacation. We took a sleeper train from Los Angeles up the coast, up to Seattle for a couple days, took the train back down. Had a nice bed on the train, got served food and stuff. It was amazing. Amazing.
Did they have your vegetarian options?
They did, which is crazy. It is crazy how many places just don't have like a vegetarian option, but this had like Beyond Burgers, right? Mm-hmm. Which were pretty good. And then, and then they also had like a pasta with like vegetable sauce and stuff. So
the last time I messed around with Beyond Burgers is like I determined they weren't worth the hassle. Because what I did is I took the patties. No, because like, hold on. I took the patties, and the way that I made them really good, like where I was like, oh, this is like something I could give my dad, and he's because I did, and he was like, oh, this is pretty good. And I'm like, it's a Beyond Burger, and he's like, oh, cool. And that was the simple conversation. But the patties are like relatively thick. They're like this, like when you get
they have these new ones that are like extra thick.
Okay, so that's already a problem, right, for me? Because the way that you make your Beyond patties even better when you make a burger, you make them smash burgers. So what you need to do is you have to cut them in half, the patties, and half them, and then use those to smash. The problem is they're frozen. They are a bitch and a half to cut in half. Then you pop them in the microwave to defrost them, and then when you try to cut them in half when they're defrosted, like the middle is still kind of solid, but the outside is like slick and like gross. I'm
letting you know. I gotta stop. I'm letting you know this is a skill issue, Brad. I'm sorry, it's a skill issue, but I get it. I get it because you don't cook it all the time.
Have you made smash burgers with?
Yes.
Beyond Burgers.
So they have 3 different sizes.
How easy do you find it to cut them in half, though?
So I'm guessing you got like the medium size, like that's the standard size. But recently they made an extra thick one, and now they have an even thinner one. They're called the double stacks.
This was months ago. Maybe they didn't have the thinner one months ago. All right, so it's not a skill issue, Chris. It's an issue of their own fucking product.
Yeah. Well, I think my son did it with the medium size. So
hold on. No. Back up. Don't tell me it's a skill issue when you're like, just buy the thinner one, dumbass.
Like how offended this guy's getting. This meat eater is getting offended. But no. So my son loves Beyond Burgers. He's a meat eater, but when he comes over here, he'll eat vegetarian stuff. But he was making smash burgers with the medium size. My son cooks, and he's 15 years old. So yes, it's a skill issue. He did it with the medium size. I'll have him make you a video or something.
Well, the problem is, if he was just smashing the medium-sized ones, that's fine. The problem is it gets too wide, and then they're too wide of smash burgers.
Yeah,
which I do agree that a burger should be wider, not taller, if you're going to make it bigger. Because I want to fit the bitch in my mouth. No pause. Yeah. I said what I said.
Yeah.
Like that's just whatever. But I guess we have to move on to Marvel Snap focus things because the last time we talked about
people complained, right? 3 minutes.
They got really mad last time we did. We spent 10 minutes. We spent 10 minutes on food once, and they're like, "Look, I came here for a Marvel Snap podcast. Why are you being humans? Be the robots I train you to be."
Our audience loves that we're so kind to them. That's why they keep coming back.
All right. Well, I mean, I think the ones that actually appreciate for who we are and watch streams, stuff like that, are happy to hear us just talk about bullshit. And it's the ones that come in and click on the fucking algorithm saying, be mad at this right now. And then they're the ones that are going to be mad at this right now.
Yeah. Should we talk about that real quick? That's a fun little topic to squeeze in. We were chatting about this. Yeah, we were talking about how our last episode was the most viewed episode that we've done so far. And it's because we were bitching. We were bitching about the Marvel Snap economy, which transitions into our first topic. But, y'all, you gotta be mindful. Like Brad's mentioned it previous times, there are people who fearmonger in the Marvel Snap creator community, right? But like you guys, these algorithms, like I'm not one of those social media doomers. Okay, like I am against like all the fear mongering, like social media is destroying our kids. Like I was an introverted kid growing up. It was right around the time of AOL Instant Messenger. I don't know if you were around back then, but that's how I talked to people. That's how I met some of my best friends, and through gaming. Like had it not been for the internet, I might have been a lonely little jerk my whole life. You know what I mean? So, anyways, the algorithms do prey on negativity, and that's one of the reasons so many people clicked on our last video where we were bitching about the Marvel Snap Series 5 card problem, you know?
Yep. I have not gone into the comments yet. I
Me
usually
neither.
do, but
Yeah.
fuck it, do it live. Pull up the comments. Let's see if people are yelling at us.
Well,
That sounds fun.
nobody's yelling. Nobody would yell at us. They'd be like, hey, I agree with you. That's the thing. They're probably all agreeing with us for once. Let's see. Where is that video? It wasn't too long ago. Can I share my screen? Is that
You
something that can
can.
happen?
You can. Isn't
What
technology amazing?
the hell? Yeah, let's see. Let's see what the screen. Uh-huh.
And people are, of
Window.
course, getting angry about the economy and stuff like that. And that goes beyond just card acquisition.
There we go.
So while you're pulling that up, we can also talk about the new cosmetic area in the client where you can purchase avatars of both rare and super rare variety at 200 and 400 gold, respectively. And then you have a great face. And then you have the big one are emotes that are 2,200 smackaroonies. So,
Yeah. So, okay, here's some comments.
anyone yelling?
No, Jeff is a real big fan of Marvel Snap. Was that we were probably meant to
Is
Jeff
that is
Hoagland or
that
something.
is that Jeff the baby land shark or Jeff Hoogland? Because
I think
I
it's
would
Hoagland.
agree with both.
This one is happy that we called out Nando. That was the fellow content creator. He's the one who does like videos every time we have a new card.
Right.
He gives the lore. What's this one say? I love Marvel Snap, but quit playing last season. Black Order. The acquisition system is terrible, predatory, and too much of a grind. Not to mention the monthly and seasonal model is way too much. Snap doesn't allow for burnout. And offers no on-ramp for returning players. So like that's incorrect. It's factually incorrect. The spotlight system is better the less cards you have, right? Like my son, he's taken a few months off, and it's not so much that he doesn't like the game. He's very good about his own mental health, and he was just getting frustrated with the game and the meta, so he took a step back. Well, anyways, when he comes back, he's most likely going to get nothing but new cards, right? Like, because he's missing so many now. He's missing,
Yeah.
5 times like 15, 20 cards, right? And he wasn't even collection complete. So the acquisition system is better. It's not as good for me or Brad. Are you still collection complete?
Yes.
So I'm missing 2 cards now. I did not get US Agent, and I did not get Hercules. So now there's actually a chance that I might open a card for the first time in my life, right? So, hey, we'll see. But yeah, like Brad stated, the best part of this game is collecting the cards, and it's ruined by the horrible acquisition system. I quit cold turkey and won't ever return. Yeah, they always come back. They always come
Well,
back.
I mean, the acquisition system, even though the spotlights have improved it, I still think it's pretty rough, especially for people that are Series 3 complete. It's just like really kind of a slog to get enough to get a spotlight.
I don't know if there's a solution, but like I think it's like crazy how many cards you collect until you're Series 3 complete, and then they just cut you off, right?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a speed run of being a child up until like getting kicked out of your house, right? Where it's like, oh look, everything's being done for you, and then all of a sudden it's like, figure it out on your own, you little jerk. You're a grown up now. Like it just drops off so dramatically. But it was worse back in me and Brad's day when we were Series 3 complete. If you become Series 3 complete now, it's slightly better, right?
Yeah, like marginal improvements are still marginal at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then finally someone spoke up about the utter UI cluster that is the PC client. Oh yeah, you were bitching about that.
Shit's fucking sucks. Also, even today, I just wrapped up a quick stream for about an hour. I did a quick 3-0 in Gold Conquest with the that Pixie Annihilus deck, and I'm trying to tell everyone, hey, it's not Pixie that's making the deck good. It's the fact that you're just playing good cards. The Annihilus package and Red Hulk. There you go. Anyway, many times when I play Conquest, the reason that Conquest is so irritating is because I will click on, like, the Conquest game will end, and instead of putting you back into the Conquest menu, it puts you back onto the main menu. And you have to wait like 5 to 10 Mississippi for it to automatically put you back on the Conquest menu. Because otherwise, if you click on shit, it freaks out. And on top of that, muscle memory makes you go like, okay, on to the next Conquest, and you just hit the big old play button at the bottom of the screen. And then you find you're like, oh, I'm in a regular ladder game?
You're on a ladder match. Yeah.
And that also today, what happened was I accidentally clicked on play on ladder, and I was like, oh, whoops, and I hit cancel. Went to Conquest, queued up for a Conquest game. It even said, this confirm your deck, and then it had the gold effect border of the Conquest thing, searching in that, and it put me in a ladder game when it found me someone.
What?
Right. Like, that's fucking weird. Stupid.
Yeah. I will
PC UI sucks.
Yeah, I think Second Dinner does like some good quality of life improvements, some that we don't even expect. So I'm hoping that is what happens. But yeah, there's a bunch of people bitching. But I want to talk about the new thing. I want to talk about the emotes, Brad. I want to talk about the emotes. Do you have my graphic? I probably could have showed my screen, but I don't want
to. What is your graphic?
The poll I did on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
So
I got you.
Those of you who have been living under a box, with the last patch, I believe it
under
was
a box.
Under a rock.
Yeah, that's
you can live under a box too.
What the fuck? Under a box.
Some people don't have many rocks available, but
in this economy, rocks are hard to come by.
But anyways, now you can buy emotes in. They have a new section where you can buy emotes and avatars. I don't know who the fuck's buying avatars. If you buy an avatar, good for you. Like, I hate avatars. I have like 3 that I use. But anyways, people have been complaining that emotes are so much. They're like 2,200 gold, which is about $30. But I would also argue, if you get gold bundles, it's often cheaper. Like, sometimes they have insane value where it's like a much better ratio of dollars to gold. Sure. And you can also earn gold. Keep that in mind. So anyways, I was like, okay, they're currently 2,200. I was like, how much should emotes cost? Because I was wondering, right? And I'm just like, okay, because one of the arguments is they should not be more than a premium variant, right? Like a super rare variant, right? So I was like, okay, 1,500 is still more than that. 1,000 is a little bit lower. And then I put the option of less than 1,000. And I am personally shocked that people said less than 1,000. I don't think that is reasonable for a cosmetic item. Like, I don't think it's like, because Second Dinner makes their nut off of cosmetics. All right. Like, and those who feel like getting cards faster, maybe, right? But that's where they make their money. I would much rather them monetize cosmetics than the cards, which they somewhat do, but it's optional, right?
700 is still $10 though, by the way.
700 still, yeah, I guess so. Like,
so if they were 700, that's a $10 fucking PNG, which in my opinion is still too expensive, but is reasonable.
Like,
people would buy it at $10, but it's still $10 for a motherfucking PNG that most people fucking mute you anyway, so they don't even see it.
Yeah, so like, I get that, but I also don't fully enjoy that argument because everything is just pixels on a screen, right?
Correct,
like,
but there's a difference between a game piece that you actively play with and something that does not really change anything as far as the actual gameplay goes. You could argue that being toxic or fucking having fun with emotes can enhance your gameplay experience. That's fine, but that's on a social aspect of the game, not on a gameplay aspect.
So you're saying that variants affect the gameplay?
From a social aspect, yes.
Yeah, right? So I'm putting these in the realm of variants.
On top of which, well, they shouldn't be on their own variants because variants are something that people take way more pride in. And here's the thing. You can't mute someone's variant. You can't mute their crackle split on this fucking $100 variant that they have, the Infinite that just came out, which also is ridiculous. But anyway, you can't mute that. You see it. There's a reason there's emote reactions on cards. Like those can't be. If you mute your opponent, you don't mute their the reactions on cards. I believe. I'm pretty sure that's not muted. That stays. So I would put alterations to game pieces higher than. Okay, I'll put it this way. Chris, you like Fortnite?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to play a ton of it.
Would you put a fucking dance emote higher than a skin of a person you play as?
Probably not.
Okay, then why would you ever put a PNG of an emote higher than a variant of a card that you play with?
Yeah. Do I think it was a good decision? Not necessarily, but I also just don't mind it. I don't.
Okay, would you mind it if Fortnite charged you $30 for a dance emote?
I don't know, man. Like maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. Like I think it was stupid. I think it was a bad decision on their end. You know what I mean? But like I personally wouldn't care.
What's the difference? Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine if you don't care. But you have to. But you can't also just say it's okay, right?
Like
would you say it is okay for Fortnite, Epic Games, to say you like this cool dance? Like imagine the gritty. Imagine the gritty being one of the most popularized. I mean, it's kind of died now, but for the time, it was one of the most popularized dances thanks to Fortnite that you had pro athletes fucking doing it, right? Imagine if the gritty was a $30 dance and that's all you got. You bought that and that's it, and it cost $30 to do that and gritty on your fucking opponent's dead bodies, right? And that's it.
But the thing is about the more expensive things, they're also like a sort of status symbol. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I'd be like, I guess you can gritty on me for $30, right? Like,
right. But that's your opinion of the person who bought it. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the opinion of Epic Games doing this. Do you agree with them doing this?
But now you're getting into a weird conversation, and I feel like you're going back on some of the things we've discussed before. Like now it's like should any bundle be $100? Should any bundle be $50? Should any bundle be over $20? Like I don't fucking know. Like the pictures on the screen, it's
correct. I have said before that I would my issue with any overpriced bundle is not the fact that they're overpriced. I have said time and time again, if you want to monetize the ever-living fuck out of the cosmetics, you do you. I'll ignore the ones I don't want to buy, but I'll still be vocal of the ones I think are too expensive. Okay? But otherwise, at the end of the day, they don't affect the actual gameplay. My problem is when you have these super expensive bundles and emotes that cost $2,200 in combination with the game pieces themselves being valued between $50 and $100 per card in Series 5, that is a problem. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Because that's what they're doing. And they're successful in doing it because the rule of selling stupid shit is very simple. It's easier to convince one guy to spend $100 on a bundle than 100 people to buy a $1 bundle. And also, I made that point a few weeks ago on Twitter, and some asshole fucking replied to me and said, "Can you show me these $1 bundles that you're talking about? Are you so fucking stupid? I hope you're listening to this, guy. I don't even remember your fucking name. That's how insignificant you are as a person, because you have a brain dead comment like that you can't understand a hypothetical and a rule of a fucking idea. Jesus Christ.
Yeah."
It's not literally, and again, if they put $1 bundles, which they would never do that, I guarantee you they still make more on the $100 bundle because it's easier to convince one person to buy the $100 bundle. It's that simple.
Yeah, I don't know. We had a whole bitch session about like the Series 5 cards. Like it's gotten ridiculous, and
Yeah.
that's why I do think it should be more affordable and easier to acquire. But like you said, like a fucking emote, like yeah, I'm basically gambling my $30 and hoping somebody doesn't mute me so they can see my thing, right? But now I get to lie to myself and say nobody's muting me ever, and they get to see my beautiful beast emote whenever I fucking do it.
It's okay to have it, and I'm not saying it's like a bad thing for the game. I think the emotes are great. I personally did get the Miss Minutes one. That's the only one I've gotten. It's the only one I'm gonna get because I think it's funny. Otherwise, I'd rather spend my gold on emote or on variants towards albums to get emotes there. Like
Yeah.
I'm 2 away from the Sandman emote in the
I want that one.
3099 one, and I'm 3 away from the All Star Pixel emote, the leader. I really like those.
I want that one too. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Now, well, let's go into the pricing of that. I would love that Sandman emo, but I have literally one card in that collection. Do you know how much money that would cost me? Like,
But here's the difference. Technically speaking, albums don't cost you anything because through playing the game, you eventually will pull some of these variants.
if we're gonna be like technically speaking, you can earn 2,200 gold. All right, technically, you can do that. All right.
Correct. But I think if people were offering shortcuts to albums to have a 2200 emo, they'd be
I
kind
would
of pissed about
argue that
too.
it's easier to earn 2,200 gold than it is to fill up an album for free.
Probably, yeah. But
Yeah.
people will probably feel more happy about spending gold on variants they will actively use to reach an overarching goal,
And
as opposed to spending almost double what a single variant is. So basically 2 variants worth of cards for a single emote.
well, maybe even 3.
And
if it's
also
the pixel
it's
one.
not you're also giving a little bit of a false equivalency to the albums and the emotes, because it's not just the emotes you get in the albums, it's also everything along the way.
Yeah, you
there's
earn
tokens,
stuff.
there's credits and stuff like that. How often, Chris, have you just a new album comes out and you're like, oh shit, I just have half of these already, and there's free 3,000 tokens for you right
Only
off
the
rip.
minimized and the max grec, and I'm surprised I don't have more Dan Hips and Pixels. But I will say that like with the albums, like you're talking about, like, well, at least there's variants that they're going to use. No, I have my favorite variants for the cards. Those 3099 ones, every card in there, I have variants I like more. So I would purely just be acquiring those variants for that album, for that emote. You know what I mean? I'd be wasting my money on variants that I'm not going to use.
Which is
What
the
I do
goal?
think,
Which is the goal for the albums?
well, yeah, I guess. But what I would love for Marvel Snap, and I don't know if they would ever do it. I've mentioned it before. I think I even said it in the creator Discord, is I would love a system like, how you can like randomize your card backs, you can randomize your emotes, whatever. Like you just pick your favorites. I would love if it rotated variants. I would spend more money on variants if there was a way to just like, here's my 3 favorite variants for this card, fucking randomize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to personally rotate them out. But like if they showed up, I'd be like, oh, cool, this one's in this.
Yeah, and I think that's probably something they could easily add in the future. I don't see why not.
But I guess lastly, let's wrap. Do you think they're ever going to lower the price on these emotes now that they started them out at 2,200?
I'd be a little surprised if they did.
Yeah.
I would give them their kudos and their flowers for doing so. I'd be happy to hear it. But frankly, no, because people already complain about stuff as is. You know what's going to happen if they lower the prices? Everyone's going to be like, I bought emotes. Why? Where's my gold back? Where's my refund in gold? And then you're going to have that being an issue.
God. Yeah.
You know that's going to happen.
I would hate. Here, do this real quick. I'm gonna send this over to you since you already have your screen shared. Pull up these emotes because I'm curious if there's even any other ones that I want, like that I even care about. Because that's the other thing. I got Miss Minutes and I got Beast. Those are the 2 I got. Are there any future ones that I would want? So I got that Beast right there. I love it. I love it so much. The one I might get is
This
the
one's
3.
really funny. This one's just, I imagine vipering something over to them and just be like, here's the trade offer.
Yeah. Like
I love this one.
Yeah, that's going to be another one. So the other thing is too, if you guys want a free emote, become a content creator, because we get 2,000 gold, so you're only like got to make up the 200 difference.
I love the Iceman sweating. It's one of my favorite emotes to use.
Yeah, you were trying to get that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I have that one.
Oh yeah, you finally got it.
I finished both of the Dan Hip albums.
Got it.
This one's cute. This one's funny. The PogChamp. A lot of like the leader I love. The Miss Minutes is great. The random bullshit go is funny.
See, because like I'm almost upset that like for the leader or the Sandman, I can't just buy it outright because I would personally, because of my view on the albums and variants I'm not going to use, I would rather just buy it. You know what I mean? Those are probably two of my other favorite ones. So yeah, I don't even know if I'll be getting any more of these aside from that Darkhawk. And that's if the Darkhawk one, if the Darkhawk one doesn't show up in an album. You know what I mean?
Sucks for those who didn't get the. You know what's funny? People were mad about the this group bundle being $30. Because this group bundle was a $30 thing, and you got like gold, a pre-mystery variant, and then the group variant, right? And it was gold and credits, and then the group emote. And people were like, $30, that's fucking insane. And I was like, I agree. But then, okay, this is also what's baffling to me, Chris. They put out a bundle for this Groot at $30 that included gold and credits.
Was it 30 or 50?
It was. Well, I don't know. Let me double check. I could have sworn it was 30.
It might have been. You might be correct. Where would we find it?
You would think it would have. I have to go to fucking. Here, I think they do a better job of organizing their bundles.
Yeah. Hold on. I just Googled it.
Oh, I have to fucking go all the way through this shit. Jesus Christ! Hold on. Currency type, cash, date. No. Descending. Apply. Okay, I should be able to go back this way.
It was 40.
It was 40. Okay,
I Googled it.
So you got. Let me find the actual. Do you have the actual bundle?
Yeah. Hold on. Here, I'll send you the little screenshot. Here you go.
That's so weird that like. Did I pass it? Because it was after Valentine's Day. Moon Knight, the Shang-Chi, the Sentinel, the Juggernaut, the Hulk. Oh, here it is.
There it is.
You got 5,000 credits and 1,500 gold for $40 in this emote. So this is what? Almost $20. This is $20 of gold. This is $20 of gold right here.
That was a damn good value.
And 5,000 credits is another $30 of credits, I believe.
Yeah.
Because it's what? How much is 400 credits get you now? Like then the little conversion thing for 400 gold. It's 1,500 credits.
I've never been good at that math. Never.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's around $20 of credits as well. So that would make you think that the emote is valued at like $10. Like that's what you would think. But in reality, this is the bulk of the value. It's 30 out of your 40.
Looking at this, if you scroll down a little, see if there's another $39.99 bundle. Because remember we talked about this. Like they were basically doing an A/B test.
100.
They were trying to see if people valued emotes at that much. And now it's almost like their takeaway from it was that...
Well, yeah, I'll value it at that much if you give me fucking good credits and shit, I guess. Well,
that's the thing. We all thought that was insane. And we said, okay, don't buy this if you don't think emotes should cost that much.
So here's the other $40 bundle.
There it is. Yeah.
3,000 tokens, 2,000 credits, and a couple of variants.
So did a ton of people buy that? Like...
I did not, because I already have cool variants. So like the only bundles I get now are like I got this one because the gold ratio is insane, and I was gonna buy gold anyway. Yeah. And I told my stream when I bought this on stream, like, hey, I do not like these variants. I'm only getting this because I'm gonna buy gold regardless, and because I'm gonna do something for a stream.
Yeah.
And I said flat out, if you do not plan on buying gold, if that was not on your bucket list and you were not planning on purchasing gold relatively soon, and you have to really like these variants, don't get this. It's
Yeah.
not worth $50. Go get Helldivers 2 instead.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Great game.
I just don't agree with doing that. The only bundles I get is like I'll get like the $10 ones because I'm like, okay, cool, gold, $10. And I got that one. I did not get that one. I did get the Sentinel one because I really wanted a Sentinel variant. And look at that, good gold. I just can't be bothered more often than not to go over $10 or $20.
How have your For You offers been? Have any got you to buy them?
Wonky at best. I got one that was like $20 for like 2,000 gold or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was in a variant that again, the only reason I did is because like I was like, I'm gonna buy gold right now anyway. Let me check my For You. Is that good deal? Okay, cool. It is. I'll get that.
Yeah, I posted one that might come back around, but it's like $50 for a premium mystery variant, and then like it was like 6,000 gold. It was something nuts. It was like an insane value, and I'm just like, I don't need the gold. I don't. I don't need it, but it was like really, really good. The other ones are like kind of meh, but yeah, next time I need gold, if that circles around, like definitely gonna get it. Yeah, I just haven't been spending gold. Anyways, let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Let's talk about something Brad and I wanted to do. We like this new little segment where we're halfway through the season and we reflect a little on the cards that have come out because we make our predictions about the cards. And now let's talk because the latest cards that we've had released are Baron Zemo, the season pass cards, Red Hulk, U.S. Agent, and then the brand new card this week, Red Guardian. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on Baron Zemo? Has he been good, better, worse than what you thought?
Baron Zemo has been slightly better than what I thought he'd be. Though my ranking, I think so far is still staying about the same when we ranked all five. I said Red Hulk would be the number one card this month because he's a big dumb idiot in generic six cost, and 6 costs are far easier to fit generically strong ones in any deck because unless you're playing discard or destroy, you don't typically have a lot of 6 costs that are synergistic with what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Especially outside those decks, and even in those decks, you might be able to sneak him in. He's that good. So I had him at number 1. Number 2, I had Red Guardian because I felt he was going to be a very good tech card. I still stand by that. He's certainly the number 2 tech, number 2 card of the month. I think he's probably behind Shang-Chi as the second best tech card now. Which Shang-Chi doesn't even feel like a tech card anymore. He feels like a necessity of the game. And then I had White Widow, Baron Zemo, and then U.S. Agent in that order. No. Valentina's this month too, isn't she?
Yeah.
So
well, how's Baron Zemo been for you so far? You like it? Do you enjoy?
Yeah, I think he's a good card. I think he's slightly better than what I thought he'd be. He's a 3/5. He's good stats. Mill has come up as a very good deck. Like it's actually a deck, and that's cool. That's great. And Yondu's seeing play. People all hated the Yondu change when it happened, and now he is a staple in a new deck that's not destroy, and that's great.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. The Mill stuff, it's fun. I love disrupting the other person, and like when you can get the curve. Of like I've been playing this like 1K and Best posted. It's a Loki deck, and like I don't play Loki as much since like it was one of those decks everybody said was too powerful, and I just didn't want to play it. But anyways, but yeah, the curve of like Yondu into Cable into Zemo, just I love it every single time.
It's so good.
I love it.
I think it's better than Thor into Beta Ray Bill into Jane into Odin.
Yeah,
I think it's better because frankly it's easier to achieve, and it is so demoralizing for your opponent to play.
Yeah, no, you know what? Like I haven't seen people talk about it, but like the mill decks are like cube thieves. Like if you can get the right curve and like stop them from drawing, like the amount of people I've seen stay in on the final turn just hoping that you can't do anything, even though like they can't even play a card. They've played like if you play a mill deck with Dr. Octopus, right? So you
Yeah.
just yank all their cards, they don't draw anything. They'll just sit there on turn 6. They're like, well, you pulled all my big cards down, so and then you just come out and like shank something, pay something else somewhere.
Yeah.
I love it. For me, Red Hulk, I rated him number 1. So those of you who haven't been keeping up with me, in the last episode, I said, you know what? Out of principle, I'm not getting Red Hulk because I've been having the issue with too many fucking big dumb cards and just point slam cards. I'm like, I'm not gonna get it. But
Sounds like you got it, because didn't we start this episode talking about who's series complete, and you said you're missing only 2 cards?
Yeah,
I think those 2 cards were U.S. Agent and Hercules. So you're a fucking liar.
No, I'm not a liar. I'm just a weak-willed man. That's what I am. Like, you're talking to a former drug addict. Do you know how many times I said, I'm not going to do drugs? It wasn't a lie at the time. But anyways, no, like, here's the thing. So I was looking around at all the best decks at the start of the season. They clearly had Red Hulk. And I'm just like, screw it. Like, I'm competitive. I want to win. I want to hit infinite fast so I can, like, screw off. I'll tell you this. I think I could have stuck to my guns if Red Hulk wasn't the first card released in the season. Like, if Red Hulk released after I hit infinite, I think I could have held out. I think I could have held out because I do think, I don't know, maybe by next season, if Red Hulk's still, like, the card, you know, that everybody's using, I might have buckled, but, like, I think I would have maybe held out. I don't know. Who knows? Like I said,
here's
I'm
my
a
thing
weak
with Red Hulk. He would still see play if they nerfed him 1 point of power on both his base stat and his ability.
Yeah.
If he grew to 13, 16, 19, 22, he'd still be good.
The dude gets way too big. Way too big. I had a game earlier where that motherfucker was at, it was mine, and it was at 33 power. I was like, he shouldn't be that big.
He on average is 19 for me.
Yeah.
He is on average a 6'19". So, you know.
Yeah. I was like,
he presents mind games. There are plenty of times where I have a big Red Hulk and I don't play him on turn 6 because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to trick you into...
I love that. I love having a gigantic Red Hulk and not playing it, right? Just doing like a Maximus and Shang-Chi or something like that, you know? Right. Just completely catching them off guard. But you did get U.S. Agent. How's that working out for you?
So, surprisingly, he is solid. Like,
Shut
he's
up.
not...
Shut your face.
Let's show you.
Don't lie to our audience. People come to us for the truth, Brad.
I'm providing the truth. Here's the truth about Marvel Snap, Chris, and our wonderful listeners. Most cards are good. I know that's shocking to hear, but most cards in the game are well balanced and actually pretty good cards. There are very few cards in the game that I would consider bad. I would say Angel is a bad card. I would say M'Baku is a bad card.
All the 1/2s?
And yeah, that's mostly and then of course Agatha, Quicksilver, and Domino. Those are your bad cards. Otherwise, if you have a card in your deck, I'm not going to sit there and be like, you shouldn't be running that card unless it's purely non-synergistic with what you're doing. For the most part, it's fine. So I named this Surely This Is Bad because this was like my first rendition of the deck, and I was like, let's try it. We went 16-5, 76% win rate, plus 17 cubes, and this is where I'm not even snapping and stuff. It is surprisingly good. Lady Deathstrike was pretty good. Like just the U.S. Agent has some cool little interesting, little things to work around. I liked him a lot. He worked out. And you know what the crazy thing is? The reason U.S. Agent on paper you think of being bad is because everyone focuses way too much on the 6 drop part of his text. Everyone's like, well, if you play him in a lane where there's a 6 drop, I mean, usually like a Red Hulk going from 19 to 16 doesn't make too much of a difference. So what's the point? The 4 cost and 5 cost, Chris, still exist. And you know what I did? There was one game that was really fun. I played U.S. Agent, and they played it into the Sarah lane. And it was actually with this list. It was this Toxic Sarah with Red Guardian.
Uh-huh.
So they played Limbo, or they played Magic on 3, Limboed, and then they played or it was either that or they did something to go like some shenanigans with energy, and they got Sarah down either on 4 or on 5 with Limbo. One of those. I don't remember which. And I had US Agent on the Sarah lane, so it was a 5-1 now, and I just sniped it with Red Guardian, and that won me the game because they can only play 2 cards.
That's a nice little wombo combo.
Like,
I
and
it.
also on top of which, like Man Thing with I know it's not in that list, but with Lady Deathstrike felt awesome a lot of times because you just like you kill all their shit for the most part. So look, US Agent I think is not a card you should go out and purchase if you don't like the idea of playing him. If you're not like super like into Affliction type of decks, he's not a make or break card, but he's good. He's okay.
I saw you post some of these lists, and then today, for those of you who didn't know, I actually made a video on Brad's Toxic Sarah list, but I used Shadow King instead of US Agent. But no, I see you post them. I'm like, these look fun. I do enjoy like Affliction. I think they do something interesting, right? And you're just like, because you're taking away power and people don't realize how much you're actually taking away and how it can swing a lane. But I just feel like right now, like if you look at your list, there's a lot of other things that do similar to what he's doing, especially in Toxic Sarah, if you pull Hazmat, you know? So like you said, like I just don't think you should spend that much on him.
No, he should have been a Series 4 card.
Yeah, if he was Series 4, I'd have him. I would 1000% have that card.
Man Thing is Series 4. Why is he not?
Yeah. No, kind of like we said in our last episode, they're really screwing up with this. I just refuse to get that card as a Series 5.
No, I agree.
Like I played, I ran the Toxic Sarah list. I totally forgot you ran US Agent in it, but in my video we went undefeated. Like it was, I love that deck.
It's a good list.
Yeah, let's transition to Red Guardian. My thoughts: favorite new tech card. Fucking love it. I do think if you are even semi interested in tech cards, if you enjoy that style of play, I think Red Guardian's a must have. He might transition in and out of the metas, but I don't think you'll ever regret having Red Guardian in your collection. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right now, I think he's very beneficial with discard decks being very popular. The amount of Draculas in my first game in my video, I went an 8 cuber off a Dracula deck. Fucking just slam down Red Guardian, wipe it out, you know what I mean? I fucking love it. But also against Tribunal decks, which have notoriously been a pain in the ass, you drop that, it takes out Iron Man. Like, it is a legit ass card. I will argue that he is worth the 6,000 tokens. Very useful card.
I agree. And again, I said he was going to be the second best card of the month. I still stand by that. I do think Red Hulk is better purely only because generically strong. Red Guardian is also generically strong, but there's a cost to playing him. Like, you need to play him in a deck that makes sense, and a lot of decks want to do things with their 3 cost, right? So if I just scroll through my decks here, you have like this like Dark Hawk list I was trying out, Black Widow, Rock Slide, you know, those are 3 costs you want to, like, you can't really fit Red Guardian for the most part in there. I guess you could instead of Black Widow, but you don't like having too many. Hope Summer, Spider-Man, and Silky Smooth, which actually, I didn't realize we did that fucking well with it. We went 45 and 22.
I finished up my Infinite Climb with that deck.
So like there's a lot of lists, like Destroy, for example. You're not going to tech him in because I'm already taking a Shang-Chi in this. Also, the only reason I'm 0-3 in this is because this is when the client was bugged, and every time I load into a game, it kicked me out. So I had 3 retreats.
Oh, Jesus.
Off of not being able to get into the game. But Deathlock, Venom, Killmonger, those are your 3 costs. You don't fit more than that. So there is a cost to playing him. But in the decks we did play him in, like Toxic Sarah, for example, and even I took this classic Control for a spin. We went 26 and 13 post-Infinite.
Yeah, I need to give that one a try still.
Like, it felt really, really good. And we did some other things. We had like Mirage instead of Lizard at one point. We had a set of enchanters. We tried Miss Marvel. We tried then we switched from Miss Marvel to Omega Red instead, which felt really good actually. Omega Red's a weird one. He's good in the list, but you have to be careful. I would say out of these 13 losses, 5 of them are due to me fucking up and playing Omega Red when I shouldn't have, and then giving priority back to myself.
Oh,
And not doing the math correctly with Omega Red, and then not being able to Shang-Chi, my opponent, when I knew they had like a Red Hulk or like a Haiva Hulk or something like that.
yeah.
But he was very good nonetheless. He's just like it's kind of like, think of your old the what's it called?
The Enchantress?
Your Enchantress list. With magic, with like Valkyrie, even Ghost was in there at some point.
Yeah.
There's some weird high skill ceiling type of things. But this deck was awesome. Red Guardian is awesome in it. You should get him. I do think he is a must have. If you play, okay, don't mean to retract the statement, but he's a must buy if you don't play only discard and destroy. Like if you are one of those gamers where it's like, I have this all Kirby crackled, all gold back destroy list or discard list, don't get them. If that's your bread and butter and you don't like expanding out of those, that's fine. That's how you play. You don't need to get them. But if you like playing control lists, if you like playing decks that have a bit more flexibility, where you like Cerebro 3, for example, he's great in that.
Oh yeah, I still need to play that.
Then you should play him.
Yeah. So with us being halfway through the season and we're about to talk about the recent patch, like what do you think? Has your opinion changed at all about Valentina or White Widow next 2 weeks? Do you
I still think it's gonna be White Widow. So my 5 list was Red Hulk, then Guardian, then Zemo, White Widow, Valentina. No, I'm sorry. White Widow, Valentina, then U.S. Agent was my last one. I still stand by all of that, actually. I think White Widow is being a little overhyped. Don't get me wrong. I think she's going to be good with the Add a Widow's Kiss your opponent's side, which the Widow's Kiss has -4 power unless this location is filled. So I think that's going to be cool. I think she's actually going to be kind of cool with Red Guardian because you could go White Widow on 2 and then Red Guardian on 3 and just say, yeah, rather than just giving you a maybe -4, I'm going to give you a permanent -2. Like, I think that's I think that's interesting because it's going to always hit the bite, right?
Yeah.
Or the kiss. The fact that you can also bounce this is what's a little scary. It's going to be nice and like junkless, stuff like that, and maybe just can find a home and bounce in its own right. But it's a little narrow. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, it just seems okay with a potentially higher skill ceiling or higher ceiling, I guess.
I'm definitely getting her, and I'm still hyped on her just because I think there's a lot of interesting things and a lot of interesting deck building decisions, right? Because it's all like it neglects it if they fill up the location, right? Mm-hmm. So like I could play Mojo, right, to synergize with her like that, or I could also do stuff like Juggernaut, Stegron, like just things to clear out the lane. Because a lot of decks are not filling the entire board. You know what I mean? I would say Cannonball, but Cannonball isn't too synergistic because it'll replace it with a rock if you don't move the card, which doesn't help you too much. But yeah, I like the idea that you can move stuff. Maybe even like Polaris, just like a new thing to kind of mess with their side of the board. You know what I mean?
I mean, also you can just leverage things like Mojo with this, where you're like, hey, you have to do the math. Like, is the -4 is the minus in many cases the -4 is better than the +6 on Mojo. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think there's something to be had here. It's interesting. It might be It might be the new 2-drop in a junk list. I remember playing like a junk list that was like, you played Man Thing, you played Sentry and stuff like that too. But like you played Black Widow originally when she was a 2-1. Now you have a 2-2 that does something similar to her. And if
wouldn't junk be kind of
better,
anti-synergistic because you're like giving them cards, or are you talking about like playing around it so you're not filling?
I mean, I'll put it this way: filling their side with a 0-0, I think is better than most most alternative options.
So now that I think about it, that's actually
it's better than Debris. She's better than Debris. I'll say that.
Like it's a really good combination with Sentry and Annihilus because people often try to fill that right lane so you don't send the Void over, and now you're having to make like an executive decision, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, like I don't think you can fill up 2 lanes because you're either gonna have to fill that lane to block my Void from going over, or you got to fill this or get the -4 power. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped on this card. I don't know if she'll be the best, but I know I'm gonna have a ton of fun. And then
She's
Valentina,
just a bit more narrow.
Valentina, I think she was still low for me, but I think she'll be fun. I like card generation just because it's impossible for your opponent to know what the hell you have. You know what I mean? What?
Now that we're talking about it, I'm putting her above White Widow. I'm altering my list. Simply because I think this is insane in Loki. Where I know Cable's kind of come back to being that 2-cost for Loki decks, where they drop Mirage and stuff like that, but you just run both this in Cable, because being able to say, on turn 2, I play Valentina, I get a random 6-cost that is now if I have Quinjet down, he's a 3-cost, right? Or that 6 drops is a 3-cost. So Quinjet into Valentina is going to be super strong. But even if you don't, it's a 4-cost 6-drop. It gives you a great pivot point. It's like, cool, is my 6-drop better than playing Loki on 4 here? If not, cool. I have fodder for Loki now. If it is, also cool. I'll play the better 6-drop. Like, I just think she is so, again, she's very narrow, but she does 2 things. She also might spawn a newish deck, like maybe a shield, like an actual Agents of Shield deck without Loki. Yeah. But the thing is, card generation for Loki is very good, and insane energy cheat is very, very good.
Yeah, and there's gonna be definite high roll games where you draw Infinite and get to play them on turn 4. Right?
You just skip 3. It's like, oh, cool. I have a 417.
Yeah.
Wow. What will I ever do? Or like you get Red Hulk and he starts growing, and it's like, oh yeah, he's immediately a 612.
Yeah, a -3 Red Hulk. Like, I do not give a shit. You know,
if he grows once, he's already above what he started as.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm a little bummed out. Like on Twitter, I posted like I had a really good run. It was maybe a month and a half where most of my spotlights I got the new card on the first draw, and then and then just the last 2 weeks. Last week was or 2 weeks ago, because I skipped US Agent, was 3 spotlights. This week was 4. But also I spent a shit ton of resources last month because I got all of the Pandar variants too. So like I'm hurting, and that's why I'm like being a little bit more careful. I'm sitting on 40,000 tokens, by the way, still, and like
I'm on 32.
Yeah, and I still have 20 spotlights, but like
that's with me. The last 3 cards I think I've bought.
Yeah,
no, not US Agent. I bought whatever was what was this week's Red Guardian. I bought Red Guardian, and then I bought Red Hulk.
I was debating buying Red Guardian, and then I freaking spent 4 keys. I'm like, should have bought him. But yeah, the way I am with like my resources is like I am with my real money. You know how you have like a safe amount? You're like, I want at least this much in my account. And like, I'm trying to figure that out. But I know I have an excess. Some people are like 40,000 tokens and 20 caches. You're freaking rich. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't want it to go.
I have 17 caches and 30,000. Yeah, I'm in a similar spot.
Yeah,
considering I'm the one who's collection complete. I mean, you think you take away a little bit of the tokens, take away a couple of the caches for the 2 cards you're missing. I think it evens out. We're pretty much in the same spot. Because if you right now went and got Hercules and stuff, you'd be like right where I am.
Yeah, just a little bit lower on the tokens. But anyways, a little bit more time left. We didn't have a chance to talk about the patch because I was out of town and it wasn't time for the record.
Well, we don't really need to go over the patch in detail. I'm putting the image up for if you don't know the patches.
We're gonna skim it.
We'll just go over each card. Not really what they changed because I don't care about doing that too much at the moment. But more so, why is it not fitting everything? Fit everything. What if I go this way?
That's everything. Do you not see everything?
It was cutting off the strong guy on my screen share.
Oh.
Okay. So rapid fire, Chris. We're gonna give a thumbs up, thumbs down for the changes essentially, and then our generic thoughts. So Eliath, what do you think?
Eliath, sideways thumb. I don't really give a shit. I think you're pissed.
Originally, I was a little upset because of the fact that I didn't like the direction the game is going in that sense of like all feels bad cards are like not allowed. It feels like, but I've been playing with Eliath. I did a lot of testing with him. Played him in a lot of different decks. He's still good. The games of which you would have won originally, most of those with Eliath, you still win. Like I've sniped in the Toxic Surfer list, I sniped a Luke Cage on the final turn with Eliath, and that won me the game because they were behind and the Luke Cage would have put them ahead with the hazmat and triggers and stuff. I've hit, I've hit things like what's it called, like goblins before they revealed and came over and like they just get stuck. Which actually in that case he's actually better when you hit a goblin, because I think it was like we had Titan on board, so I played on 5 to stop a hobgoblin, and then their goblin just stays instead of getting destroyed. So he's better in that instance. So really, unless they play big card like Red Hulk, Magneto, etc., you usually can win. And even with those, his 8 power is nothing to scoff at. Sometimes you're ahead enough to where the 8 power is enough of an extra cushion to where you still beat big card.
Does he reset Red Hulk?
I believe no. I have yet to hit a Kitty Pryde or a Red Hulk or anything that grows throughout the game with Eliath, which is kind of weird now that I'm saying that out loud. But I believe what happens is it stops them from growing additionally. I think the energy or the power they've gained throughout should stay. Okay, Chris, if you played Red Hulk on Dead Space, or no, Deep Space, not Dead Space, on Deep Space,
he'd still have it,
and he's grown a couple times, he should still, if he's grown once, he should still be a 615 on Deep Space, right?
Yeah, he will be. Yeah, that reminds me too, because I tested out Red Guardian on a symbiote for Clintar, and it kept its power. I just wanted to see. I was like, oh, will it reset this? Since it's like wiping its head.
It's not like Shadow King.
Yeah.
Did they change it where Shadow King doesn't work on symbiotes anymore? I don't remember if that was a thing.
I think it still works. Okay, I think it still works.
That and pigs.
Yeah. But yeah, Eliath, I'm glad you found your happy place with it, because I think you messaged me on the first day. You're like, fuck this change. I'm not happy about this.
I originally didn't like the Eliath and the Sandman change.
Yeah.
But they've both grown on me, and they've both been pretty good.
What about Zabu?
Good that he's dead.
But they did say in the patch notes that this might just be a temporary change. Basically, they explained that it's hard for them to even gauge where other 4-cost cards are at because of Zabu's existence. So now that they're able to do this, they can kind of look, because maybe I think it even said we don't know if White Queen's bad, or if there's just too many other good cards that go with Zabu and stuff like that. So that might come back. It has been nice not just seeing its omnipresence, and And this is kind of like what imbalanced patches do, or just what I hope for in OTAs, where it forces people to switch shit up, you know? And since Zabu's like not really being played, I've run into a few people trying it. I like the deck diversity. I get the most bored with the game when there are just like standout top decks or cards and everybody's playing them. That's when I get bored.
And I will say, I thought that that Sarah Control was like borderline dead with Zabu being gone. I'm like, oh, that's a stray bullet. That fucking sucks. Because Sarah Control ran both Zabu and Sarah, where you had these insane games where you go like, okay, my Shang-Chi costs 2, my Enchantress costs 2, and then I have a Maximus at 1 and stuff like that. But really, and you can attest to this with the Toxic Sarah list, and then we just saw the data on my games of like 3 different Sarah lists. Still doing pretty good. Still a pretty good
Sarah,
deck.
the Sarah Zabu combination just made it too good, and now it's just like, oh yeah, I'm a decent deck now where I could do some tech stuff.
So can I let me run by you this change that I don't know if we've talked about it before. I know I've talked about it on Can't Stop Snapping with Teddy. This is an idea that I really want to see Zabu become. Okay, let me know if you're on board with this. Make Zabu a 5/5 ongoing or on reveal. I guess it can just be on reveal like the Sandman route. That's fine. Next turn, make it on reveal so that way you can't ramp them out. Your 4 costs 2 less.
So it gets like the original type
original
deal?
Zabu text on reveal, but on a 5 cost.
Like I don't know. I don't think 5/5 if they went for it.
Well, then I mean,
you're basically talking about a better Sarah Surfer, right? Because
Sarah is he a better Sarah Surfer?
Well, Sarah lets you play 3 cards for Surfer, right? Yeah. And then Zabu would just let you play 3 4-cost cards, and 4-cost cards are some of the best cards in the game.
4 costs are a bit narrower. The reason I say a 5/5 is because it could be a 5, or it could be the same as Sarah. But my initial thinking is it's only reducing the cost of a singular cost, where Sarah is across the board. Everything is reduced by 1.
Okay, I can see that logic.
That's where I was like, but you can make him a 5/4 or 5/3. I don't give a shit. But like, I like the idea of him being in a competition with Sarah, because it makes it so that, he you can't put them in the same deck. You can't have this weird overlap, and then you can actually just choose a path. Like, do you want a Zabu control list with like your Shang-Chi and Enchantress like that, or do you want a Sarah control list?
Let me know if do you think nobody would slot in a Magic and just turn 5 Sarah, turn 6 Zabu?
If you want to be greedy, sure.
Yeah.
But like
I would be 1,000% on board with them testing it. I'd be totally on board. I think it'd be interesting to see what happens, because the original issue with Zabu at that, for those who don't remember, on turn 5, was it? You could play fucking Spider-Man into Absorbing Man.
That was the original thing, yeah.
Yeah. So you would lock down a lane with Spider-Man, and then you would lock down a lane with Absorbing Man.
And then, frankly, let's be honest, a 3 cost that reduced your 4s by 2, play 2 4s on 4, was still pretty good. Or too good.
Yeah. So that would be gone. So yeah, I'd be curious. But
I want a little bit more competition for Sarah. I'm not saying Sarah's broken or anything like that, but she's withstood the test of time with the game, and has been consistently one of the best 5 drops, and always had decks around her. So giving a little friendly competition to her at a 5 cost with just a little bit slightly altered kind of game plan, I would be cool with.
Yeah. So yeah, second in for listening. Sandman, what are your thoughts?
Speaking of 5 costs, very good. He went from being a ramp card to where you want to go Electro into him on 4. Now you want him to be a card that you can still play in Electro deck, sure, but he's much better in the sense that his 7 power now allows you to play him on 5, hold priority, and say, yeah, my Doctor Doom wins, or my Hela wins, or anything that adds extra power in other lanes, or straight up just play your big card. Like, he is very good as a 5/7. Would not be shocked if we see him as a 5/6 soon.
I absolutely love this change, and you're talking to the biggest Sandman hater around. He was just the antithesis to the decks I like to play. And I think he's great now. He's just a wave, but not a toxic type wave that we used to have, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, if I run into it, and like if I do run into it, I'm just like, oh, that sucks, right? But I'm not just like, oh, you son of a bitch, you put this down on 4 and now my whole deck is just destroyed, right?
Yep.
Where now I can be like, I can kind of play around it like you used to be able to do with certain wave decks. I love it, and I totally exploited the hell out of the Castle Zemo featured location. I just picked it. Yeah, I picked the toxic deck everybody was doing. I went from like rank 80 something up to like 97, just doing like the ramp deck with with Electro and flipping Electro over to their side. Like the amount of people who would like let you snap on them when Castle Zemo would pop up and not know what's going on was mind blowing. It was mind blowing.
I did it a few times, but then like there was one where this Infinite Climb was awful, by the way. I reached 99 5 times and dropped from 99 all 5 times and then I finally went from 99 no cubes to winning an 8 cuber to jump up to Infinite with a Hello list. But yeah, there were plenty of times where I would do that, send over the Electro. I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm at 99. I'm like, holy shit, I only need 1 cube. If they just send over the Electro, they leave, and I get my 1 cube. That's easy, right? And then of course it was a Shuri list.
Oh, so
they're just playing 1 card a turn anyway. And I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you motherfucker.
Yeah. I remember a freaking negative deck. I snapped them, and like they're just like, oh, what? I got my turn 3 negative, right? And I just send the freaking Electro over. But yeah, anyways,
until the negative deck is running. I promise you, I ran into a negative deck as well, and they played a Venom on the Electro, and I was looking around. I'm like, where the fuck did this Venom come from? And I clicked on him, and I'm like, and then I was on PC, and I looked at the tracker. I'm like, the Venom was just there. I'm like, you're running this? Yeah, it's in your list. Did they just tech that in as like, because of the hot location? They had to have, right? They're like, oh, I'm so fucking sick of this Electro, I'm gonna eat it. Like,
I ran into one a while back where they were running a Killmonger in their list, and I was like, I was playing like some kind of zoo or bounce deck.
This is a lesson to everyone. Sometimes don't just take the list you see on Untapped or whatever, or you see on Twitter. Throw in a couple tech cards, throw people off, because like, telling you, like, I would never think of a Killmonger in a negative list, but like, why not?
Yeah. No, I lost 8 cubes. I tweeted about it. I was pissed. But real quick, I don't want to stay on the topic too long, but since we did use Sandman with Hela, a lot of people complain about Hela. I don't know if we've talked about it before. Like,
yes,
do you think she's a problem? I can't think of a change for her.
Okay, here's my thing. So I find this is where I'm a little annoyed with Second Dinner, because there's been some conversation with Glenn being like, what about Hela? And he's always replied, her metrics are fine. Her metrics are perfectly fine. Okay, cool. But you changed Goliath because you quoted it as being not fun. You changed Professor X, quoted as being not fun. Players overwhelmingly do not think Hela is fun. I genuinely see that from content creators to average players. Losing to Hela is so fucking unfun. And I agree. Her metrics are fine. She is a 8 cube machine, but she's a win rate of like either right at 50% or even maybe just below 50%, because there's a lot of retreating when you don't have your shit, or you discard Hela off of your Corvus or whatever, and you get the bad rolls. That happens, right? But her cube rate is around 0.3, 0.30, whatever, per game, because, she steals 8 cubers because she's Hela. That's what she does, especially with Sandman now.
But don't you think it's kind of like the old Galactus situation? Like, what are you doing sitting in when you know they're running a Hela list?
But here's the thing, like, either they have Hela and they win, or they don't have Hela with their 3 cards left in deck, and like, you win. And like, it's hard for a lot of people to just be like, how do you? Because like, sometimes you're in a position where you're like, wow, I'm in a really good spot. And on top of which, even if they do have Hela, they need very specific outcomes for their RNG to still win. That's how good your board state is. So it's really hard a lot of times to honestly sit there and say, yeah, I leave against Hella when you're in a winning position.
Yeah,
Where
it's just like
it's not even a 50-50 that you lose to. It's like a 1-3 that you lose to. Like, can you really look at me look me in the eyes, Chris, and tell me you should tell people if they lose on a 1-3, 33% chance of losing, flip it around, a 67% chance of winning, that they should leave the game?
Yeah.
But like,
no, I get what you're saying.
That's what it is. I think Hella is unfun. I think she's not fun to play with either, frankly. If you are a Hella enjoyer and you love playing with her, good for you. Your fun is subjective. I'll never encroach on your fun. But in my opinion, playing with Hella and even hitting infinite with Hella on my last 3 ranks, because I dropped to 97, I was like, fuck it, I'm switching to Hella because it's an easy 8-cube thing I can just steal games with.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have fun. I just don't find her enjoyable. I don't like winning with her. I don't like losing against her. She's just not a fun card to me.
Yeah, I just don't know what they would do with her. I've seen people say, like, we need a card that can counter Hella. And, like, I get it, but, like, with the amount of complaining about Hella.
Cosmo counters her.
Yeah.
Cosmo, I guess.
But also, I keep thinking, like, Leech.
Also, Eliath counters her.
Leech counters Hella.
That's
Leech.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they'll do. I don't know how you fix it. Like, it is just annoying. Like, it is one of those boring play lines where I got kind of tired of it. But yeah, right now, post Infinite, Hella Tribunal and Hella are the top 2 decks post Infinite, which is crazy.
But they have pretty mid stats though.
0.41. Hella Tribunal is at 0.41 average cubes, and regular Hella is at 0.36.
Yeah, those are just above average. Average, I would say, average is like 0.20, 0.25.
Yeah, but they're the top cube rates. Top cube rates, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. She's doing decent. I don't know. I don't care. Fuck Hella.
Are you doing it for only post infinite?
Yes, I am. If you go 70 to 99, nope. Hella Tribunal's at 0.49, which is a bit bigger. If you go to the meta.
I'm going. Hold on. Latest patch. Let's do post infinite only. I see. So by game count, it's not Hella since latest patch, and post infinite only. I'm at 6,000 collection level up. Post infinite only 100 up. Latest patch since 410. Top played decks are Toxic with the Sarah Surfer Toxic list, which this is so obscenely greedy. Like, I don't know why this is this deck should not function as well as it does. And look at that, it's really not. Anyway, Zemo, Mill, cool. Negative, Destroy, Move. Hell, here's our first Hell list. 0.22 post infinite since the patch, 52% win rate. That's pedestrian.
Go to the meta list. No.
Hella Tribunal, latest patch.
That's what I was looking at.
51% win rate. See, but this I don't understand. So, the same filters. Why does this show up the way it does here, but not in the decks?
Maybe. Well, you were on game count. Try average cube rate. See what happens. Sort by. Yeah.
Okay, but it's only 1,100 games played.
Yeah, that is interesting how they do that.
Yeah, the Tribunals is only 1,100 games played. Move. Red Guard. This one's, why is this called Red? Oh, this one. This is one I was playing.
Yeah, this one's good. I might make a video on that one. I like it, but like you were saying too.
What the fuck?
Pixie is not like the must-have in there. Yeah, of course.
I don't even see the regular Hell list anywhere. How far down is the regular Hell? Hold on. Yeah, the regular Hell one was supposed to be like 0.35, right? So where is that? I don't know. That tab's a little wonky. But I don't know. Yeah. I think Hella is a fine card as far as win rate goes. I just do think she's unfun, and I find it weird that in this age where they're nerfing or reworking cards to be less unfun, that she doesn't align with that that philosophy. I would like to ask Glenn why that is, why he doesn't find her to be a quote unfun card where she's not in the same vein as Professor X and
I wonder if they have a metric to gauge fun aside from just tweets and Reddit, whatever. Anywho, back to the patch. What do you think about Lady Deathstrike change?
I love it. I love it a lot. She is actually really solid now. I've been playing her in a few lists. I showed you that one. That was like not the Toxic Sarah, but the tempo-y, like, Man-Thing kind of list. She is awesome, like I said, with Man-Thing, because Man-Thing's safe from getting hit by her, but like all the stuff that you afflict with Man-Thing can put them back in range to have her kill. Same thing with like Red Guardian. If you really wanted to kill the thing that Red Guardian silenced for some reason, which doesn't happen often, but it can.
Yeah.
She just, like, again, she's literally the same card, just they reworked her text to make it so that she does the same thing still, but now they can raise her power. And the reason I like this, because now she is adjustable on 2 different knobs. Segment loves their knobs. They like talking about, we like turning knobs on different cards.
Playing with the knobs.
Now they can change her base power and her effect power. So there's a world, Chris, where maybe someday they find her to be in a spot where they're like, let's try this. And they change her text to be like, destroy powers 5 or less, but she herself is only like a 5/2, where they can go the inverse. Like, you couldn't do that before because she had to be higher than whatever she kills. Now you can say, well, now she's low power, but she kills bigger things.
Yeah.
So, that could be a thing they could do at some point. But as it stands right now, I think she's solid.
Yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. She's been fun. Strong Guy. What did they do with him? They just gave him another power?
No, they made it so that he only needs to have 1 or less.
Yeah, 1 or less. Yeah.
So now he's actually solid in APOC discard, because oftentimes the last card you have in hand is Apocalypse. So he now is still a 3/9 with just APOC in hand. So I like him. He's much better now, but I admittedly have not play tested a lot with him. Just a handful of games with APOC just to try it, and he's been fine. He's been good. I just, I'm sure he's a lot better in Zukula now. It's just hard to say if he's like good enough to play in more decks.
Yeah, his play rate's definitely gone up, it looks like, and like, hey, good for him. It went from like 0.7 to like 0.19 post infinite, or 0.17, something like that, post infinite. So like, yeah, I'm glad he's at least like playable. It's not like game busting. And that's the thing too, when it comes to like cards like Red Guardian, or even like what they've been doing with these cards, like I think a lot of people expect cards to get like busted or broken. It's like, no, you could just have like good, decent cards. Like I think that's like the dream, right? Cards that are playable so we can get more deck diversity and all that kind of stuff. That's what I like.
I do too. Yeah, I like when they make these shakeups and some like things just kind of give a nudge in a certain direction for some cards. But yeah, patch overall, I like it. I like the patch.
Good stuff. Next week we got an OTA.
Woo! We'll
Very
see.
fun.
I would not be surprised if Sandman is on that OTA. It's like, hey, 5/7 was a little too good. His metrics were a teeny bit higher. We're gonna try him at a 5/6, see how that goes, and then he's probably fine. He's probably gonna be like a nihilist, where 5/7 was just a bit too strong. 5/6 is a-okay.
Yeah, I think 5/6. I think you'd be fine at a 5/5 too.
Right.
I think I could deal with that.
Also, some of you may wonder why I don't say anything about a nihilist when talking about the fun factor thing. The reason a nihilist is not comparable to Professor X, Eliath, or Hela is simply because a nihilist you can play around simply by playing the game. Hela and other cards, you need specific cards to counter them, right? A nihilist, you're just like, oh, I see them setting up the right lane with that Sentry Void. I'm going to fill the right lane now with cards like, like Jeff or Vision, stuff like that. So that way the Void doesn't come over, and then I can move out of there later. just a very simple play your cards is the counter, right?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, true that. All right, that was a good episode. I think we did a great job with that one, Brad.
I think we did too. So,
Yeah.
I got nothing. We're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
All right.
go check out Brad on Twitch.
Hello. We're trying to hit fucking partner, but it's difficult. You have to average 75 viewers. I'm averaging like 30 right now, so we're slowly getting there.
Yeah.
If y'all want to hop in, go to twitch.tv/Batsifer. We stream every week or every day in the week, Monday through Friday. So help me out.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah. Anything for you, Chris? Anything you're working on?
Nope. I've been making Marvel Snap content, like actual deck videos, because I've been having fun and enjoying it. So yeah, you're in the right spot because I post them here.
All right. Well, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for showing your support, especially with the last episode. I guess we're gonna have to name this one something bait-inducing.
Something evil.
Easy. Just like emotes, too expensive. There
Yeah,
you go.
emotes too much.
Perfect. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the new influx of people watching us get mad at emotes now. So we love you. Appreciate you. See you next one. Bye-bye.
Peace.